So actually, Mafia's main business, believe it or not, is in the supply of protection. How does this come to be? So Mafias come to be because of the failure of state, essentially. You know, like great policemen here. And Mafia actually comes to be an alternative form of the state because they supply protection just like what the state is supposed to do. So what is the recipe to the emergence of Mafia? Is there sugar and spice and everything nice? Which forms the Mafia girls? Yeah, are the guns big enough? I wasn't sure how big the guns had to be for it to be realistic. I particularly like Bubbles' gun, you know, a little bit Western. And also, let's just please appreciate the Mafia hats I've got going on here. I put a lot of work into this. So what are the ingredients to the Mafia emergence? So there are actually three things that people have come up with. The first one is time of transition, which means it has to be like a society that's undergoing a sudden and late transition to the market economy. So, you know, we don't know what's going on yet. It's like really unstable. And then we have ineffective state, which is a legal structure that does not reliably protect property rights or settle business disputes. And then number three, which is one of the most important things of all, we have a lot of people with violent skills that just suddenly got sacked and they don't have a job now. So what happens when you have instability and bad police structures and government structures and a lot of violent people that need a job? Mafia emergence! So I'll give you some samples of how this comes to be. There are different kinds of mafias in the world. Sicilian Mafia, the Yakuza, the Russian Mafia, the Chinese Triads, Cosa Nostra, Italian-American Mafia. So let's begin with one of the most famous ones, the Sicilian Mafia. So remember the three things that I talked about? They had it too. So they had a late and rapid transition to the market economy, an efficient state, and armed guards, which used to serve feudal lords, but they got sacked, and a bunch of army that got disbanded after the unification of Italy, which meant Mafia! And we also have the Yakuzas. Now, they were transitioning from agrarian feudal state to the Meiji period. There are more and more ownerships, but the state isn't doing a good job in trying to maintain that. And then we have samurais. Because you see, samurais can't find a place in the Meiji period, you know, who needs samurais at that point? So the samurais started looting people, and then a bunch of samurais were like, we can't have our people looting people, so they came up and started to protect people against the other samurais that went rogue, hence the Yakuzas. Similarly with the Russian Mafia, we have a bunch of unemployed former Red Army soldiers, Afghan veterans, unemployed sportsmen, and ex-prisoners, and all these things come together to form the Mafia. So it's actually a pretty solid theory so far, until someone proves us wrong, of course. So actually, we're doing like an economics class right now. It's actually a simple demand and supply. So there's a demand for protection, because the state is not providing that protection, and then we have a supply of people that is able to serve this demand. I'm sure you didn't hear this example in your economics class. Now, is Mafia protection real? Or is it just protection from an imaginary threat? Any guess? Yes or no?
Maybe.
I like that, yes. My ex-professor was like, Mafia is a good thing, but don't tell anyone. So actually, Mafias, one of the main things that they do is cartel enforcement. Now what is cartel enforcement? Say, you have a bunch of people doing the same thing, selling the same thing, but there's limited amount of demand. So how do we ensure that all of us get like a cut of the profit? So if I sell this for 10 bucks, the other person might say, hey, I want better business, I'll sell it for 8 bucks. And then they keep undercutting each other, which meant nobody's really making money. So what a cartel is, people coming together and saying, hey, let's all sell this for 10 bucks and all make money. But the thing is, a lot of cartels are illegal. Now, they can't get the state or they can't get the police to come in and make sure everybody's keeping in line. So they need someone to regulate it. So the mafias. So this is like a chart for game theory, and I'll give you a small example. Say, Billy from the class next door. He has this amazing Pokemon card that you really, really want. And, if the teachers find out, or if, Susie that just likes to rat people out, tell the teachers that you're having this illegal Pokemon card exchange with you, then that's not gonna be great. So what happens is you hire Tom, this big guy that stands by the door to make sure Susie doesn't poke her nose into your business and no teachers come along. So basically, the mafia is Tom. Although, let's be serious, if a mafia's name is Tom, who's gonna be afraid of him, right? So, let us tackle some assumptions. Mafiosi are not just specialized in offering protection, they also carry out other jobs. Now, this is an assumption that people like to think. They think that mafias, they deal with prostitution, they deal with drugs, and they deal with all of these things. But research has shown, so for some reason, a bunch of police managed to tap into this mafia's phone calls for like several months, and they noticed that 30% of the time, the word protection came up, and anything else to do with racketeering or to do with prostitution, it only came up less than 10%. So the main gig of the mafia is actually still protection. Now, of course, people that engage in mafiosi behavior, they are going to have skills similar to the ones that you need to deal with drugs, to deal with prostitution, but all of these are just the people that happen to be in the mafia, and it's not the main enterprise of the mafia itself. Interesting, right? The other assumption, mafias extort. Now, what is the basic premise of extortion? It's people that provide service. Well, people that say they'll provide service, but they don't, and they charge you exorbitantly. Because mafias is actually a form of monopoly, just like the state. The state is a form of monopoly on protection, except their currency is not, the law. Their currency of maintaining that is violence. So, if you're a monopoly, you can basically charge whatever you want. And because they're a service industry, they have to be better than the state. They can't overcharge, for one, because if they overcharge, another mafia group could just take over and undercut them, or they could just basically refer back to the state. So at the end of the day, they're still a business, but operating under the underworld. I swear I'm not in love with them. But they're pretty cool, So that's my nice, short, sweet presentation on mafias.